Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, enemies and friends, welcome to the show that never ends. You are tuned into On the Real on the R Squared Network, where we keep you up to date in the world of TV and movies. We are back, and Bill Maher is still an asshole. I'm your host, Steve Johnson, and joining me today is my brother from the same mother, Mr. Johnson.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing out there in TV lands?
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
All right.
All right. Are we also on YouTube as well? Is that happening? That's good. That's good. That's what I like to hear. And we have a very special guest today that is not the last best hope for the resistance. It is Infinity Stone Knock.
Infinity Stone Knock is the Instagram handle, but
It is.
just call me Knock.
Nah, but I like to think of you as the kind of guy who will wipe out half the universe
If I have
over
to.
something you were wrong about.
Over frivolous shit.
Yeah, just like that.
We don't care.
Also, congratulations, you are a new father.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
man.
All right. So Mr. Woods is out today because we kind of just decided to go on a Wednesday, which is not our normal day. But Mr. Woods will be back, hopefully.
All right.
And I'm sure he sends us his best. Now, we have a show. We have a lot of news to get through because we have not been on in 2 weeks. I'm sorry. It was the holidays and then work. You know, I could do this full time if you guys would donate to the Patreon. And you're not donating, you're getting something good for what you offer. So go to patreon.com/R Squared Network and you can help keep the lights on, which actually went out earlier today. But that's a fun fact.
Definitely happened.
That's a real thing that happened. And it's all your fault.
If I'm here,
5 minutes after a long ass day, sit down.
shit happens.
All the lights out.
In any event, let's get into this thing. So, as you can read by the title, the Into the Spider-Verse and Aquaman early reviews are in.
Yes.
Now, my question to you all is, which one do you want to talk about first?
Spider-Man.
Respectfully, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Now, we grew up in a time with Peter Parker. What is your relationship with Miles Morales before we even get into some of these early reviews of the movie?
I have never read a Miles Morales comic book. I am aware of the Miles Morales character when it became a thing because it was news and there was news articles about Miles Morales, so I knew about it. Like, I saw the comic book covers and I flipped through the comic book pages in the comic book store, but you know what I'm saying? I know who he is.
Did you ever feel like it was just like a derivative character? Did you need that, or did he hold his own?
He does hold his own because he has his own universe.
I know that. I'm asking you how you felt at first.
It's its own character. It's just they're like Venom is, it came from Spider-Man. It's just like new characters spawned from things that were there before. So I don't take it like, oh, it's a bad thing. It's just something new. Everything evolves. New characters are made.
Well, I will say
everybody gets their chance with the ball, and people will create new things.
Now, here's the thing. I'm not usually a fan of this. Again, before we get into the reviews, this is just some pretext, right? But I'm not usually a fan of just like changing the race of certain characters.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of what they did with Miles Morales, which is, no, he's not Peter Parker. He's Miles mother effing Morales.
Yeah.
Right? And he has paid his own dues and has now earned his movie. Like, that character's like 10 years old almost, right?
Yeah. But the movie's just not about him. It's about a bunch of different Spider-Man related characters.
Now let's sort of get into it, because people are saying, and I'm just quoting some people here, that this is the best Spider-Man movie ever made.
It comes out December 14th.
On your birthday.
On my birthday.
It's like gift wrapped for you.
It's for me.
Now, what other people are saying is that it is the best superhero movie this year.
And Infinity War.
And that is a year where Black Panther and Infinity War came out.
Nah. I don't like hearing all of that stuff, because then if it's not the greatest shit ever seen, then it's trash.
It's blasphemous.
It's trash then. Because it's just like you
came at the neck.
For you telling me all of that, they sucking it too much. You know what I'm saying?
Unless it's true.
I like going in with low expectations, like Venom.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I didn't know what to expect.
But now, okay, what? Let me. So, what
It's
do you
just like
think
with
at the
Thor
possibility of this being better than Spider-Man 2, which was the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made?
What is the possibility of this one being better?
They also said it's the best animated movie of the year in a movie where Incredibles 2 came out.
Well, you see, it's a slippery slope. Like, who's giving these rave reviews?
No, these are just like first
People who saw
reactions from Twitter, right? Because so you can't like give an actual review like right now. Those people who got to see it early, but they
Right.
can give their social media reactions. So I'm gonna.
Like it's that good.
I'm not
Yes.
convinced.
You're not
I'm not
convinced.
convinced. I'd have to see it.
People
This
are
is-
saying that this could change like animation forever.
But a lot of people were saying they didn't like the animation style.
Who said that after they saw it?
I'm just saying
Exactly.
going into it. I don't know nothing
You saw
about
the end
that.
of Venom.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just pulling up some quotes. You guys keep these guys entertained until. Okay, so some quotes are. Okay, so gotta say, pretty amazing how people didn't really. Okay, no, that's not one.
Get your shit together.
No,
Steve.
no. I'm reading quotes. Okay. Okay, here we go. How like what is your excitement level for this?
What's Venom's numbers right now? Just to
We're gonna come to
Go
Venom
through us.
numbers, but so okay. Here we go. AV Club. Okay, Collider gives it an A. I had high hopes for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and the movie surpassed them. Having seen 3 different iterations of Spider-Man in the past 16 years, I assumed that Spider-Verse would be backed into a corner with the only cards to play being Miles Morales instead of Peter Parker, and animation instead of live action. Instead, it has surpassed the other Spider-Man movies by breaking down the character without ever losing sight of an entertaining, lovely story. If you feel like you've seen all the Spider-Man you can handle, just wait. You haven't seen anything yet. That was Matt Goldberg. The Hollywood Reporter says, it helps to be well versed in Spider-Man lore to fully appreciate Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. A freewheeling, fast and loose, strikingly animated addition to one of the biggest library of films in the Marvel collection. Faced with the challenge of how to further expand the franchise without sadding both the characters and fans. I don't know what that means. Sadding? Anyways, Marvel and Sony have borrowed from the comics to introduce a fresh origin story with both references to the past and swings into the new, thoroughly multicultural, spider-fied future.
So it's good.
Yes, I'll give you one more. Den of Geek gives it a 5 out of 5. Says Miles Morales can share the screen with one of the most recognizable icons in all of pop culture and still clearly be the hero in his own story, and still be that's impressive and a testament to the obvious love that went into crafting both the character and his world. Delivering that kind of emotion in a movie this big and brash is no small task. It's the kind of achievement that brings to mind the adjectives usually attached to one of Peter Parker's comic books: amazing, spectacular, sensational.
Oh, different Spider-Man titles.
Yeah.
So it's all of the above.
Yes, everybody likes
Shout
it.
to
I'm
T-Pain.
seeing
Oh, no,
B.
this is a big
The
deal
lowest
out
score I see is a B plus. And look, this Miles Morales is half black, half Latin,
Yeah.
right?
Pleasing everybody out here.
And the thing that I heard most
Inclusion.
about it is that there's a Spider-Man for everybody, because you
'Cause
have
there's the
Miles
girl one.
Morales,
Right.
you have Peter Parker, the straight
Shit.
white male,
You got
right?
Peter Parker. You got a pig.
right? Spider-Gwen. So whatever you're into, it's there for you. And apparently they
Spider-Man Noir.
melded it
Is
well.
Venom in the movie?
That's a damn good question. I hope no one tells you. Now, here's the real question. You asked about Venom. Venom has officially surpassed Wonder Woman. It is now at 822 million. It also passed Winter Soldier, Doctor Strange, and the first Guardians.
Justice League.
Impressive.
And
been past Justice League.
And Suicide Squad?
All of those. All of those.
So what is it behind?
I mean, it's like 50 million behind Homecoming. So we'll see if it gets there. Now, but the point is, this is an undeniable runaway success. Now, my question to you, to both of you, is this does well. Into the Spider-Verse is getting rave reviews. Yeah. Is Sony back? And not to mention the Spider-Man game.
No,
they just
Spider-Man
is
PS4.
Back. Yeah, but that is Sony, right? So my question to you is, hold on now, before you get into it. Does Sony still need the Marvel deal?
Hell no. Spider-Man is bankable.
Are they dumb enough or smart enough to take Spider-Man back from the MCU?
They don't need Marvel at all, because these movies are gonna do numbers in China.
Does that make you sad a little bit?
No, because
you got to see him.
We got to see him. It happened, and now we got the X-Men.
Yep.
Almost got the X-Men.
Man, 5 weeks.
Speaking of X-Men, hold on. Forget about 5 weeks. Tomorrow, Hugh Jackman said that he has a very special announcement.
Yeah, he's going to be Wolverine.
He's making it on Good Morning America. So I'm asking both of you, what do you think Hugh Jackman of Wolverine fame, what do we think he's going to report?
He's in the MCU. Or he can't announce that yet.
Or I don't think he can announce that, because then they'd get in trouble for saying they're colluding before it's time.
He could say that he's going to put on a clause one more time. But he don't got to say that
what movie or in what context is going to be in.
Okay. Now, to be clear, one of the actresses, I think the one who plays Sansa from Game of Thrones, she's playing the Dark Phoenix. I think she said that these X-Men are not a part of the MCU, which and also who the hell is she to know what all of these bigwigs are doing?
Yeah.
But thirdly, I'm just thinking outside of the box here. What if it's not that he's donning the claws again, but what if he's donning the cape and cowl? What if he's just announcing he's going to play Batman?
Nah, that wouldn't work, man.
It absolutely would work. If Ben Affleck could be Batman, Hugh Jackman could be Batman. Here's the thing. Yes, you would, and you'd be excited.
He's been branded as a different character for so many years.
So what? Remember, Captain America was Human Torch for a long time.
Yeah, but I can't see him as anything but Wolverine. Because he did
and Killmonger was also Human Torch.
No, he needs to stay Wolverine.
He said he's done with it.
F out of here. But he also said, there's an interview recently that his thought process was always that, eventually that will happen. And now we're right on the precipice.
Well, the other question is, does he want to go into the DCFU when he's clearly out here trying to win an Oscar right now? He's doing the front runner. He's doing musicals.
He can still win Oscars.
You know what would be crazy?
Because what's stopping you from doing other movies? Like Robert Downey Jr. was doing mad movies, you know what I'm saying? When even during the whole Marvel thing.
No, he actually wasn't. What else did he do?
He did the Sherlock movies, 2 of those.
That was during the Marvel thing?
Yes. That was during the whole Iron Man thing.
Okay.
And that movie, what was that movie with him and Val Kilmer?
Him and Val Kilmer. Oh, no. That was before Iron Man, though. I think
it came out after Iron Man.
No. You're talking about Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yes, that came out after Iron Man.
Did it though?
Look it up.
Oh. And he did Tropic Thunder right around the time of Iron Man.
He did a bunch of movies besides.
And then he only did Marvel movies because they paid him so much.
Yes. Money. Why do anything else?
Okay. So I hope. See, the thing about Sony, right? What they could do.
You telling me you don't want to see Hugh Jackman be Wolverine again?
I do.
In the actual costume.
But just because I want to see it doesn't mean he wants to do it.
If they did an Old Man Logan movie.
They really did that already, though.
No.
That's kind of what Logan was. It was like a play off of that. And the
They're not gonna do
MCU's
another
not
one.
trying to do Elseworlds movies.
No. I want to see him in the mask and the suit because then
Next
they
to
could CG.
Captain America.
Yeah, they could CG that up with him with a suit on.
I don't know about that.
He don't got to get into crazy, you know, super ripped shape because he's a 50-year-old man.
Before it came out before Iron Man.
What?
What?
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
Yeah, it came out in 2005. Iron Man came out.
Oh,
In your
Thank you.
face.
Facts on
Okay.
facts.
whatever. I seen it after that.
Okay. now, okay. So, so we think that's the consensus here. We think that Sony is probably going to take Spider-Man back from the MCU because they don't need the MCU.
Why?
Or, and I'm just putting this else out there, what if all of this is a fluke? What if they put out Morbius and it's a flop, and they put out another Venom and nobody cares?
Jared Leto is dripping whack juice and he can't get it off.
Not only that, like
It's like after you win
they
an Oscar,
really just
it's
got
over for you.
lucky with Venom, like right?
Yeah.
It's nobody understands
Yo,
it.
let me
neither
explain
did
to you
they.
something. Because it seems to be a trend, at least from what's I've seen so far. Anybody who wins an Oscar, whenever they do a comic book movie, is freaking terrible. Halle Berry, Oscar, Catwoman, terrible. Freaking Jamie Foxx, Ray, Oscar. Freaking that shit, Electro, terrible.
Yes, but
Anybody who won an Oscar, like Jared Leto won an Oscar, that
you
Joker
mean if
was
they're
terrible.
the lead in the movie?
I'm just saying, people who want, well, but then you have, you know, the exception to the rule, which is, you know, this guy, Heath Ledger, you know, winning an Oscar for playing.
No, but that's different.
Yeah.
You're saying if you won an Oscar, if you're an Oscar caliber actor before you do a superhero movie, and then
and
then you're in the lead of a
Yeah.
superhero movie, that's kind of different.
Yeah.
Winning an Oscar from playing a movie is going to be different. Now,
Why doesn't Todd McFarlane get his props for creating Venom like that? I don't hear a lot of people talking about that.
I mean, you don't hear a lot of people talking about any of the creators other than Stan Lee, like for the most part. Now, my question to you is, if Sony does take back Spider-Man, do you think that Marvel did a deal that says if you do not continue the deal, you cannot use Tom Holland?
Yeah.
Because if they didn't do that, they are royally stupid, right? Because just the fact that Tom Holland could appear in a Venom movie says that Venom is in the MCU.
Yes.
You can't use the same actor. So my question is, if they do take Spider-Man back, are they rebooting the character?
I have no idea. I mean, because they can show a multiverse and it has nothing to do with the MCU. It's just a different universe.
Some people said this is the best explanation of a multiverse that you'll get. And my question to you, I have a few
Because
questions.
just like in Miles Morales' universe, Peter Parker is dead, but in Peter Parker's universe, he's alive.
Right.
So he could be the same him, but it's different in this universe.
But what if
there's a
in another
multiverse.
what if they've successfully introduced the multiverse, what if they say, look, that Peter Parker is in the MCU. The MCU is another universe.
Yes.
Right? But
it's connected but separate in association
what if
with
their
Marvel.
Peter Parker is just Jake Johnson? That's the guy who does the voice for the Peter Parker in.
Oh, like an older one?
Yeah. They're just saying in this universe, that's who it is. So MCU, you keep Tom Holland.
So they're just going to keep making animated?
What if there's a scene in Into the Spider-Verse where they just jump into another universe, but that universe is the real world? And they bump into Venom. And Shamik Moore is just playing Miles Morales.
I was thinking that. Because I was talking to you about that. You know, like they show it, like there was a scene where it's just like the real world. Because if you already introducing such a thing, and even with Doctor Strange, you know, because he can go through dimensions, you can introduce it through Doctor Strange. Shit could be connected but separate. You could tell different stories. It's just like how when you go by Spectacular Spider-Man and you know, whatever, Amazing Spider-Man and the Spider-Man comic, and it's different stories by different writers and different things are going on. It's the same thing. Everybody got their turn with the, you know, the ball. Everything doesn't have to be, you
But
know,
is the
it could be connected but
audience
separate.
going to understand that?
Yes, because you spell it out for them and you tell them that in the movie. You show them that
So
it's
listen,
a
you
multiverse.
dumb motherfuckers.
It's in, I
It's
mean,
a multiverse.
that's the way it's always been if you're a comic book reader, but this is assuming people are comic book readers.
How
But just
well
when
do
you
you think
introduce
this
it
is
into a
going to
comic
do?
book, you accept it.
In a world where Venom does 822 million,
Yeah.
right? Is closing in on being the highest grossing Spider-Man franchise film. How
Yeah.
well does Into the Spider-Verse do?
It's different. It's an animated movie.
Well,
And how much does this movie cost to make?
Nobody knows, but I'm hearing it was very
Venom
cheap.
was
It looks
advertised.
cheap.
Venom was marketed very well.
Oh, it has to be. That's absolutely.
It
Was it?
Yes.
Venom.
Well, I mean, you know,
They ain't gonna know what hit 'em.
Eminem. First of all, Eminem had a bunch of controversy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He dropped the album, and then he has a song called Venom, and then that's in the movie. So that's a really good look. You know, just that the Venom head coming over like a hood. That visual.
I hated that. You don't
No,
understand
but
how much
that-
I
Or
thought this.
Venom.
That
I
visual made a lot of people just be like, "Oh shit, yo, I gotta see that shit." Just you know.
You understand
It was
that it got
cool.
killed in the reviews, right? Like
Critics
all,
hated
these,
the shit.
all these reviews that I'm
They
reading
hated
about
it.
Spider-Verse, Venom got none of that.
Doesn't matter.
They hated it.
that
what
visual.
would be hilarious is if Into the Spider-Verse flops and then Venom. Like,
It didn't cost anything to make.
Venom costs $100 million now.
No, I'm talking about Into Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously it costs something,
But not as much as it to be rendering shit to the level of realism. You know what I'm
but
saying?
I did hear that this is like because you know if you forget about rendering it to the level of realism.
That wasn't
Things
their
like
goal either.
Incredibles, things like Toy Story, those cost $100 million plus to make
Yeah.
because you're still rendering every scene, right? So the thing is,
Even the way that it moves, it's not. They don't use the same amount of frames that it would to make it look as smooth as like.
honestly,
shit.
I think that they're doing something like just from what I've seen,
They
and that
created their own, you know,
style. But
yes,
I think
mechanics.
I think that if this does well, I think that this is going to change the game.
Revolutionize animation.
Did you just say revolutionize?
Yeah, revolutionize.
Okay. So no.
That's-
But
that's-
I
that's a
think
far word.
I think this changes everything because if you think about it, if this does well and proves the model in the same way Deadpool kind of proved you can do an R-rated superhero movie,
Yeah,
I think this proves that you could do like you could unshackle yourself. And Disney already has Pixar. This could unshackle them in a way where they could do any character and not be constrained by the MCU and all the continuity that's there,
Yeah.
and just turn out family friendly as well as kind of like, you know, the 18 to 34 crowd,
Adult.
Yes.
adult themed animated movies.
yes.
And I think that Disney is looking at this very hard because there's a stable of characters they could just say, you know what? Maybe it's not gonna fit in the MCU, but let's just do a Pixar movie.
Right.
They got this streaming service. They about to put all kind of stuff on there, all kind of animated
And I'm
movies
hearing
and
that
whatever.
the action set pieces here in this thing are just ridiculous. Like if you made this live action, it would cost $400 million. But I do want to move on because we've been on this topic
Yes.
kind of long. Another movie that that the embargo has lifted, Aquaman.
Yes.
And guess what? People like it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is crazy because I don't know if you remember when we came out of
It's better
Infinity
than
War.
It's better than Man of Steel.
Listen, first of all, watch your mouth about Man of Steel.
From the
okay?
trailer, it looks better than Man of Steel.
First of
Don't
all, the
even
trailer
lie.
looks like Wakanda underwater.
It looked dope.
They borrowed a lot of that. But you know what? We should have known because this is James Wan. And James Wan, who has directed Fast and Furious 7,
Yes.
he's directed Insidious, He's directed the Conjuring franchise, the Conjuring movies, but then oversaw the other franchise movies like Annabelle, Creation, and The Nun, and all those other things. And he was the one who brought us the original Saw before it got whack.
Yes.
Wow.
So I say all of that to say James Wan has never put out a brick.
Yes.
And giving him Aquaman, I'm starting to think we should have known.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta put some respect on his name.
We do. And at what point does James Wan get in the conversation of like, you know, superstar director? Yeah. If he could pull this off.
Take it easy. We'll see how the sequel does.
You know what I think though? I think
what if it flops though?
Well, right now it's tracking for 100 million opening weekend.
It's not gonna flop.
No, well, here's the problem. It could flop even though it's good. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because
people lost faith in the DC.
No. I think people are hype about this. A lot of people are talking about it, and because
people
a few
like
weeks
Jason
ago,
Momoa, people like Khal Drogo.
Exactly, and people didn't hate him in Justice League.
What's that Netflix show that he had?
Oh, geez, I can't remember that now. Right, it'll come to me. But my point is this. It could still flop because of when it's being released. And this is also going to hurt Into the Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse comes out the 14th, right? Hold on.
When does Deadpool come out?
Also on the 14th.
When is Aquaman?
The 21st.
21st.
But Aquaman comes out the same
the
day. Aquaman comes out the...
Who?
Oh, Deadpool's the 12th. Deadpool's the 12th. Sorry. So here's the thing. Deadpool, Once Upon a Deadpool is the 12th. Right, this is for whoever doesn't know. They're bringing back out a PG-13.
What's coming out on Christmas?
On Christmas Day, I'm not sure, but most of the Christmas stuff, I don't know. But the 21st is really all the Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So, but hear what I'm saying. So on the 12th, you have
Tuesday,
the new Deadpool, the PG-13 Deadpool movie. 2 days later, on the 14th, you have Into the Spider-Verse and this new comedy Sherlock Holmes movie with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, right?
What? Now, that comedy Sherlock Holmes movie.
That's going to be hilarious.
It is, but is it going to brick?
I mean,
it's a different audience. They call that counter programming. Like, so if you're not into all the superhero stuff and you just want to see a comedy, people will go see that. So
people tend to support Will Ferrell movies. Now,
but again, so I want you to look at the time span, right? The 12th, this thing, Deadpool, right? Mm-hmm. And it's PG-13. It's not R-rated. Mm-hmm. The 14th, you have Into the Spider-Verse and this Sherlock Holmes movie. Right. The 21st now, on the 16th, right? You then have Mary Poppins. That's making all the money.
Oh, my God.
And then on the 21st, not only does Aquaman open, the new Transformers, Bumblebee opens. And I think I'm missing something. And by the way, Alita Battle Angel was coming out on the 21st, and they said F that. We just move it to next year. Now they coming out in February.
Yeah, that's an oversaturation.
So here's the thing.
They're all going to mess up each other's numbers.
Somebody's going to have to brick.
Yeah. Not only are they going to have to brick, look, if Into the Spider-Verse makes 50 million opening weekend, it probably could have made 80 million opening weekend.
Right.
If Aquaman makes 100 million opening weekend, it probably could have made 150. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's all vying for the same amount of dollars. And it costs a lot of money if you don't have MoviePass is dead now, but if you don't got an A-list or whatever, right. And you're trying to, and the way these movies make all the money, people bring their families to them and they see them multiple times. This is the same thing we saw with Solo, right? Yeah. You can't say, oh, here's a superhero movie you're probably going to want to watch. Here's another one you're going to want to watch. And here's another one a few weeks later. I might see all of them once, but these movies don't make all of that money unless people go back to see them again and again. And nobody's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, you know how you make the money? Just release it simultaneously on all platforms.
No.
People who go to the movies still going to go to the movies. Just like how people buy bootlegs or watch bootlegs on the damn internet. People who was going to go to the movies will still go to the movies.
I want to ask you a question.
Because movies be coming out like 3 and 4 weeks after it on damn freaking...
low budget $50 million movies do that. Those are movies that probably would have went straight to DVD a few years ago. Here's the thing: there's no big budget movie that has, you know, $150, $200 million budget. Plus, when you hear that budget, that has nothing to do with marketing. So you're talking about $300 million they got to spend for something like Aquaman, right?
Right.
You are not going to make that back on VOD. You're just not. Yeah. You make it in the box office, and then once you've made all your box office money, because you got a window of like a month and a half, then you go to all the leftovers on VOD. It's smaller movies that make up money in the secondary market, is what they call it. But aside from that, forget about the money. People are actually saying it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And every trailer they dropped was great.
Yeah.
They all looked official.
Aqua, bro.
I think because, again, I've said this, that so far for the DCFU, Man of Steel was the best thing they did. Wonder Woman comes second only because it fell apart in the third act.
Yes. Very bad.
I don't care who you are. If you think that Wonder Woman was good all the way through, you're wrong. Now, if this does what it seems like it's going to do, right? And Wonder Woman 2 does well, and that's Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie does well. Is DC back? And if Hugh Jackman is Batman?
Get the F out of here with that. Don't nobody want to see that but you. Nobody wants that. I don't think it's going to happen.
You thought you didn't want Ben Affleck as Batman, but that didn't turn out too well, so maybe that's a bad example.
Yeah.
No, it would be if Hugh Jackman did that, it would be a move that everybody would hate, but we'd have to watch it.
Of course we'd watch it.
And you would learn to love it.
It'd be like the Funk Flex thing. Like, everybody hates him, but he was still the number one DJ for the past 40 years. Like, you know, it'd be like that. You'd hate it. I'd hate it.
No, you wouldn't. I don't think you would. You know why? Because Hugh Jackman,
he's classy. He could be a Bruce Wayne.
He can pull off Bruce Wayne.
I feel like he's a traitor. Not only to...
Come on, man.
Come on.
You're older than that.
That's
come on.
He's playing for the other team now.
So? It's no teams no more. Like, he put in 16 years of worth of work.
This is a life...
Yo, Cap still... I mean, you know... Cap and Human Torch, that's still Marvel.
Oh, boy, come on. I mean, to be fair, like, Marvel took Lawrence Fishburne. Because remember, he was Kerry White, and he was also in Ant-Man. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. By the way,
people don't switch from. I mean, yeah.
Listen, if Captain America dies in Avengers 4, I think he'd be a very good Superman. Just saying. Just saying.
Superman.
And you know he would. You know it.
So you don't want to see Henry Cavill anymore?
No. I mean, he's gone.
There's certain people that could they could be hoes.
For sure. Is that confirmed? Double confirmed?
It's not double confirmed, but the fact that they have no answer tells me it's confirmed.
Nah.
That's all I'm saying.
The fact that he held up the
certain actors I don't mind jumping around. And then there's certain
but
actors.
But not your Wolverine.
There's certain that there's very few actors that really embody the character. That make you feel like, yo, that's really him. Once the camera goes off, he's really Wolverine.
Oh yeah, no. There's I can name that list on one hand, right?
But RDJ as
right, RDJ is Iron Man, right? I'm gonna go ahead and say Vincent D'Onofrio is Kingpin. Sorry, Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and say that obviously Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. Like you can't separate the two.
No, nobody else could be Deadpool.
Now, here's the question: is Heath Ledger Joker, or can that be embodied? Because Joker has had some talent behind
it. To me, like nobody's done it better than him. Yes,
but does that mean like that's it? You can't separate them because, like you said,
I can't even say that because freaking Mark Hamill.
Yeah, the animated
Joker was great. And no disrespect,
And look-
Jack Nicholson, his Joker was great for what it was.
Listen,
One of my favorite actors too, Jack Nicholson. So.
listen, but hold on. What about
Different ones were good for
we
different
can't forget
reasons.
Christopher Reeve as Superman. He
Nobody's
that's
Superman but him.
That's him.
But him,
Yeah.
he's the only
He
Superman
owns
to me.
that. So you could count him on a few hands. Is not yet. I was gonna say is like this is
Who's Spider-Man to you? Toby.
yes,
Toby.
but that's
That's it.
because he had the best movie so far.
Until you see Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, but you know what?
But still, it's
I
different.
feel like Tobey Maguire just captured the awkwardness of Peter Parker.
Yeah.
He was a great Peter Parker.
And Sam
He was a
Raimi
whack Spider-Man.
captured the sort of struggle of what and
Until
the
Spider-Man
action
3.
and the spectacle of what Spider-Man was. I blame Sony for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Hugh Jackman, it's Ryan Reynolds, it's Vincent D'Onofrio. I mean, like Chris Evans really is Captain America though. Like, could anybody else?
Yeah, Bucky.
And
and
obviously
Falcon.
Nick Fury.
Both of them.
No, but
Both of them
I don't
have
feel
become
like you can
Captain
say
America in
Bucky.
the comics. Falcon and Bucky have
No,
become
I know
Captain
that,
America.
but I'm saying like separating the two. Like, I don't know if I could watch a movie with.
Would they recast a Captain America? Yes, you will.
I don't know.
And it's not going to happen for another 5 years at least.
Unless he dies in the movie. Okay.
He's going to die. He's
Now-
super going to die.
Speaking of people
We know that because
dying,
of that tweet.
R.I.P. to the creator of SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Passed away, 57 years old. That is
I saw that.
pretty whack.
Yeah, man. Take care of
Um,
yourself,
Rest in
man.
peace.
do you know how he went?
I don't know.
See, this is like sad to me, right? I never really, because of my
Hopefully
age,
he went coming.
I never was really into SpongeBob like that. Although I've seen a bunch of memes, and they're all SpongeBob memes are hilarious.
Yeah. You never watched the SpongeBob show? I used to watch
here
that shit
and
a lot.
But it was great though, from what I've seen from it. Right?
It was really gay at times.
It reminded me a lot of Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
When you have kids, you got an excuse to watch shit like that. You know.
First of all, I don't need excuses to watch cartoons.
I mean,
Grown-ass
I
man.
watch cartoons, bro. The Cartoon Network. There wouldn't
Fight
be-
me, bro.
There wouldn't be an Adult Swim if adults didn't watch cartoons, bro.
Yeah,
There
but
wouldn't be cartoons showed 24/7 if you know what I'm saying. And they
but
show all these old cartoons like
now why?
adulting like
this-
Bill Maher, but we ain't.
No, hold on, you messing up my segue, man.
I'm trying to segue it for you.
So what I was gonna say is this is sad, unlike Stan Lee, because with Stan Lee, like, he lived to be 95. You know what I mean? He lived a full life. He lived a happy life where he was
I
respected.
correct you. He lives forever.
Yes, exactly. Well, I mean, to be fair, when you create something and your creations live on past you, including your kids, you live forever.
He
You
has a
live.
star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, bro.
You know,
It's very true.
one lives only as long as they're remembered.
That's a very interesting point, and actually a very profound point that you're just glossing over. You're saying including your kids. It's only your kids. The other things are symbols. The other things that we say live forever, like your name, your legacy, like that's not a tangible thing. Like,
I know what you're saying, but the thing is, the reason why I say what I say, like, if you leave something behind that changes people's lives, meaning you're changing things in the real world,
right.
then I think that counts too. Obviously, your kids are first. That is your real immortality project, right?
Right.
Your kids are literally you. And whatever you teach them is you imparting yourself onto them. So when you go, you are now with them, because their outlook on the world, a lot of it comes from you, right, and whatever you've instilled in them. And if it doesn't even matter if they tell their kids of stories of you. Right. You know what I mean? your grandfather was a great man, or whatever, or your grandmother was a great woman.
Resurrect through the birth of my son and live again, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, I think once you have a son and a
You have
child and
children,
you're raising them,
you are here forever. Some
Yeah.
part of you is here because they have kids and they have until they stop. Your seeds stop having kids, then you're not here.
right now.
Okay, Stefan Hillenberg, he died from ALS.
Oh wow, isn't that the same thing that killed Stephen Hawking?
I'm not sure.
What is ALS exactly? Is that what he's doing the ice bucket challenge thing for?
I believe so.
Yes.
Give me 1 second.
Think
I'm not even going to attempt to say what the acronym stands for.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, that is tragic, right?
Yeah.
Which is different from the Stan Lee thing.
It's a degenerative neurological condition. So that's
Yeah, like parts of you just stop working.
just
Right.
deteriorate.
But
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And that happening at 57, which, you know, is arguably your prime.
and then he has such a, robust imagination and mind.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Right, for that to go away, to lose
That's
that. So
horrible.
yeah, man, sorry for that guy and his family. Now it'd be crazy if Bill Maher, like right now, was just like put out another blog post that said F that guy too. Right?
Yeah.
So, and what we're talking about, if
Fuck
you don't
Bill
know,
Maher. That's what we're talking about.
I'll allow it.
There's a lot of spice.
Yeah. Fuck that guy, man. Up his nose
Bill's
with a rubber hose, bro.
some adobo in the mic there. No, but so
Spicy conversation.
the thing is, so Bill Maher put out a blog post called "Adulting," and it really didn't go into context. It was like 4 paragraphs, and what he was basically saying was that he doesn't read comic books, and now we live in a world where we take comic books as serious as the big boy books that don't have pictures, right? And he's saying, he's reading people say things like, "Oh, I'm happy to live in a world that included Stan Lee." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm happy to live in a world that has oxygen and water."
He's a friggin' douche, bro.
And basically what he was saying
This guy
was,
smells his own farts.
what he was saying was people need to grow up, and in a world where we take comic books seriously, it's no coincidence that is the same world where Trump gets elected president.
Yo, let me tell you something about this cocksucker Bill Maher. It's just like,
Go
how
in.
dare you
Go
disrespect? How dare you disrespect Stan Lee? Like right after he dies, like, oh, all he did was inspire people to go watch a movie. Like the man just died. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, regardless of what you think about comic books, why say Stan Lee's name and the man just died?
You know what
like
else he
means
could have
nothing?
did? You know what else Bill
Like-
Maher could have did?
Yeah.
Could have shut the fuck up.
He could have shut the fuck up. It's just like, if you want to make a point, why'd you have to talk about Stan Lee? Like he meant nothing. And why are you mourning him? Like
No,
he
no,
wasn't a
but
human
here's the
being.
thing.
He created art and this art impacted people's lives.
Listen, you
feel
don't
me?
have
Like,
to
people
care.
thought
You
it's
don't-
just disrespectful. Let me finish what I'm saying. It's just disrespectful right after a man died to just say some shit like that.
Unless you're trying to grab fame. What were you saying, Knock?
And
He was trying to rile people up, and he knew it would get clicks. But he's a cocksucker for that.
And-
I stopped fucking with him a long time ago, even before he said that nigga shit. And you know what I'm saying? And then he was still like so unapologetic
N-word.
about it.
He did
know what I'm saying?
apologize for that.
Nah, but he apologized because he was forced to apologize, but he didn't feel sorry about it at all. Because when Ice Cube was there telling him check himself before he wrecked himself, you know what I'm saying? When he was sitting there on the show, he was there being indignant about it. Like you could see it in his face, like he didn't like being corrected or reprimanded about it.
He lives in a world where nobody tells him anything. What were you gonna say?
Because he has sex with black women that he got a pass. You know what I'm saying? But he been a douchebag. He comes off like a know-it-all, and he feels like he's smarter than you or whatever, and he thinks he's funny with these corny jokes that people write for him with your freaking canned laughter, with a freaking applause machine where you telling people to fucking applaud and laugh when none of the shit you say is funny. You effing douche.
I mean,
He's a douchebag. It's rare that whatever some shit that his writer wrote for him is funny.
You
He's
mean rare that you find it funny? That's different.
Nigga, I watch the show a lot.
You just said you don't watch it.
I've seen enough of it to know it's trash.
Okay.
And he better not ever in his life. He will never impact the world the way Stan Lee did. F that guy.
Okay. Nah, what were you saying?
He summed it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Fuck him, man.
Here's the thing.
Fuck you, Bill Maher, if you're watching. You probably ain't, but fuck you. Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's what I got to
That's
say
all I have
about
to
the
say
whole
about
thing. People are entitled to say, you know what, I don't get comic books. I don't read them. I understand that. He is a public figure who comments on what is going on in the public at the time because this is just the nature of the show and what he does. What I will say is that do we really, I mean, the spoiler alert, the answer is yes, but should we be living in a world where if I don't agree with 100% of what you say 100% of the time, then F you?
That is,
you know what I'm saying? Because
that's the world we're living in.
Because
yes, it is. That's the world we're living in.
His show, I think, is one of the last places where you can actually have real conversations, at least in the traditional form on television.
Just because his show is
like
entertaining,
we're having real talk right now.
I get that. But just because his show
I'll
is
let you go on
entertaining
your
and he
rant.
has
I'll
a
let you
good
do your
show,
thing.
just because his show is good doesn't mean he's not a piece of shit.
Sure, that's fine. I'm just
His
saying
show
I'm
is
not
good.
boycotting
the
the
people
show.
who produce his show, they're great. He's a piece of shit.
But it should. I'm not gonna, because there's a lot of things I don't agree with him on. But you shouldn't have to agree with him on. Now that said, now that I got that out of the way, right? Here's how I really feel about all of this, which is what he has done in these ridiculous comments, right? What he's saying is, well, I don't read comics, I don't understand them, and therefore anyone that doesn't understand them is an idiot. And if you read comics, it's your fault that the world is the way it is today. Because I'm an old man and comics didn't get big until I was too big to read them, right?
Yeah, you old fart. Comics got popping in the 90s when we were in our adolescence, and then technology caught up to where they could make quality stuff, not like the corny TV shows that came on in the 70s and 80s. You know what I'm saying? So it's for people our age, people in their 30s.
And it really has nothing to do with comics. It's more about a mentality, and the mentality.
Don't mess up your angles.
The mentality is, seriously, if it's something that I don't understand or something that I don't rock with, or I have to attack it.
I don't like change.
People don't like change.
Old man on his porch, waving his hand.
It's human nature, or certain humans. It's their nature to attack things that they don't understand.
But here's the thing. This is coming from a guy who constantly attacks President Orange and his supporters for just going off their gut and not looking at facts. How can you say, as an intelligent person, right? You say you're intelligent. You say everybody's stupid because they like things that you think are dumb, right? Mm-hmm. But then you turn around and say, hey, this thing that I know nothing about, I'm just going to make a full judgment on it. Right? And so the thing is this.
So there's no difference.
It's not. Like, he's doing the thing that he's mad at people for doing. But he says that, and he doubled down on this when he was talking to Larry King, saying, double
douche.
Right? It's not like comic book. I don't read these things. They're not like a meditation on society. Wait, what? Have you read anything from Alan Moore or Neil Gaiman? Right? Like Mouse.
Have you seen any of Alex Ross's paintings?
Right? The comic book Mouse is literally written as a retelling of the account of Jews in the Holocaust, where the Jews were anthropomorphized as mice and the Nazis were cats. Black people were dogs, but you can read into that what you will. But a literal meditation of a historical account of a family's trials and tribulations during the Holocaust. And again, maybe read The Watchmen. Maybe look at what the X-Men were about in the 60s. Right? And so
comics stopped being for kids a long time ago. Originally in the 60s when they came out, like when they had comic book strips in the newspapers and whatever shit like that, and they had these.
That's how he looks at them because that's what they were in his age.
Until Stan Lee changed that and revolutionized comics.
Right. And again, this is coming from a guy who was in Iron Man 3.
You freaking hypocrite, you. You took the goddamn check. You know what I'm saying? You sucked from the tit of Marvel, but now you want to shit on Stan Lee. You piece of shit, you freaking hypocrite.
Well, it was a check, so I can't knock him for that.
Nah, but to disrespect a man after he's died and people are sad about this.
That was very tasteless.
Like, you're a piece of shit for that, bro.
And it's not even that he said it, because like you said, he was getting the check, but then he doubled down later because he's too good to apologize for anything.
Yes.
Right? Just dig in.
Like, if he didn't get pressured into apologizing for that nigga shit, he would have never apologized for that.
Okay. But
fuck that guy.
Yes. Short story long. We've wasted too much time on this.
Yeah.
Because that's what he wanted. And
he got clicks. He got people
and guess
to talk
what?
about him.
I'm still watching the show when it comes back because I think that his show is, for better or worse, one of the few places you can still go on traditional TV to get real conversation. Because, like, look.
He does say real shit.
Trevor Noah is dope and all of that, but at the end of the day, a lot of these talk shows and these politics shows are just preaching to the choir and fishing for applause.
Let me explain to you something. Ain't no show better than
this show right here.
Be better than, but for them type of shows where they talk about stuff and politics and whatever, then, Jon Stewart show.
But that's gone.
But there's nothing was better than his show.
No, because Jon Stewart's show is different in that he would have an interview, but then he would report the news.
Yes.
That's very different from, like, they're not really reporting the news on Bill Maher's show. It's people coming around and having
they talk about topics in the news, and they have conversations about topics.
It's a different format.
Yeah. It's a different format, but it's still what they do. Because they have, like, a bunch of people around the table as opposed to him having a one-on-one conversation with somebody.
But he does have the one-on-one in the first segment of the show.
Yeah.
Anyways.
His show is still better. Fuck Bill Maher.
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right. And I think this is the final topic. Lion King, goddammit.
Yeah.
That trailer is out. Now, before we get into what we thought about the trailer, why the F, or maybe I don't, that's a leading question. Should this film be considered live action?
No, because everything in it is completely CG. It's just animated.
But they're calling it a live action movie. See, with Jungle Book, you at least had one person that was live action. But are they just saying, look, this CG is so good, it's real?
They're calling it live action?
Yeah. Because it's not the same thing as like a Toy Story or a Zootopia, right?
Right.
Or a Wreck-It Ralph. It's a different kind of technology.
They actually shot like real animals?
It was all green screen.
So there's no shots of actual real animals, not one.
All computer generated.
So how is it? So did they shot real landscapes?
Probably not. They said it was all computer generated.
I'm sure
they use real landscapes
and texture map that shit. They
can
figure three-dimensional pictures.
But again, aren't they doing that with Toy Story and all of that? Like, that's just a thing you do. So again,
this trailer
does it count?
Crazy. This trailer looks crazy.
And they brought James Earl Jones back.
What's whack is just like how we gonna have to cry and mourn Mufasa again. Like, it's gonna be grown.
Here's a question. So they got Chiwetel Ejiofor doing the voice for Scar.
Time out. What technology are they using for this CG?
Jeremy Irons did it originally.
Yeah. Should they bring back Jeremy Irons?
They should have brought back Jeremy Irons.
But you know who Chiwetel Ejiofor is, right?
Yes.
From.
He's the dude who played Carl Mordo in freaking Doctor Strange.
And from 12 Years a Slave.
Why he got to be a slave though? I was trying to
Solomon
say,
Northrop.
you know,
And he was in Firefly.
yeah.
Dope villain back then.
All right.
So
But yeah,
let me ask you:
Jeremy Irons is way better.
well, we don't know what he's doing with the voice yet. Should that be considered live action?
No,
No,
absolutely.
Why not?
it's an animated movie.
was-
It's
it
still
was-
animated, just better.
He was
in a
acting
different
me,
format.
but thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
I've answered both of you.
No, I mean, it was masterfully done, obviously, but it's a nice imitation on life, but it's not
Uncanny
live.
Valley
It's not
territory.
live
It's
action.
not live.
Because they have facial features. They didn't. If you shot no real animals and it's not real, it's all green screen or whatever, all CG, then it's not live action.
It doesn't make it worse.
Live action?
It doesn't make it worse.
Yeah.
It's just a different
It's
category.
a different category.
That's it.
Is it? But so you would put it in the same category up against Toy Story 4 since they're both coming out 2019.
It's the same shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do the same thing with video games. You're not going to look at Toy Story with the same eyes that you're looking at.
Yeah, but I'm saying if it's animated, right? Because
Right.
that's the category in the Oscars, right? So you're either gonna get a live action Best Picture nomination, or you're gonna get an animated picture
Unfortunately,
nomination.
Nas and Little Perp are in the same hip hop genre, and you get
Nah, still ain't got an
Wait,
Oscar.
hold
It's
on,
just-
hold on.
you
Are
get-
you calling Toy Story Little Perp, or are you calling?
I'm making an extreme an extreme analogy.
I just want to know who's who in this analogy. Is what I'm trying to
It
say.
doesn't matter. The point is the
Here's
spectrum.
the thing, though. It definitely matters.
The spectrum
Yeah, because
within
both of them are great.
the spectrum within the genre is very broad, and it creates subgenres. So they're still in the same genre. It's just
So it's still
one is more realistic. The other one is more,
Come to think of it, though, since we're talking about distinctions and non-distinctions, should there even be a Best Animated Feature category in the Oscars? If you're a good movie, shouldn't you just be a good movie? Why did they even have that?
A movie should just be a movie.
Okay,
It's just like
that's very progressive.
I'm going somewhere else with that. Go
Yeah.
ahead, because I got a follow up.
I mean, a movie is a movie. It's just like, why don't comic book movies ever get nominated for like Best Picture? Why do why rap albums don't be getting nominated for like Best Album?
Let me ask you another question. If we're going down that line and we just need to consider everything on their merits, why do we have a Best Actor and Actress category? Because at the end of the day, like you're
Acting
acting,
is acting.
right?
That's
Did
so
you-
they could
did
give
you
out
do
more
it-
awards and sell more freaking ad time.
Because it's kind of sexist, right? It's like saying, hey, this is a different kind of man acting, right?
Right.
No,
Like, what is the difference?
It's
Like, if
just so
you're
they could give out more awards. Because if it's just one person, then it's less people getting
but
awards.
then
every
if
year.
that's the case, right? If that's what they want to do,
Then they
why
should
don't
have
they
a best
have a
child
best
actor,
why, or
best
or
gay
best
actor,
or best
best-
or best female director?
best animal in a movie.
Would Lion King be considered for that?
No, because there's no real animals in it.
Okay.
They should give like a lifetime achievement award to like Air Bud or something.
Okay, now I'm gonna go with the pig from Charlotte's Web.
They got to give Lassie one. They got to give one to
The horse. You know how much carrots it
Mr.
took?
Ed.
Yeah.
Got to give him one too, bro.
That horse is glue now. Okay, so Beyonce is Nala in this thing. You had a fun fact about Nala.
Everybody out there, fuck you right in the childhood. But who is Nala's father? Did y'all ever think about that shit?
I'm not co-signing anything he's about to say. for the
Nah,
record.
but really, if Mufasa is the leader of the tribe, and there were no other men there, right? And we know in nature,
Scar was there.
yeah, but Scar wasn't getting. Scar is gay, bro. Fuck out of here. Everybody knows
It
Scar
sounds
is
like
gay.
you're setting this up for some nasty shit.
But I'm just saying, in nature,
What are you doing right now?
like
Tread
in
tread
it's not-
lightly.
It's not me treading lightly because even as I was a kid, when I was a kid and I saw it, I was just there like, who is Nala's? Because if it's just Mufasa and there's no other dudes around, you know what I'm saying? There's not a bunch of other dudes who you be there kicking it with and playing dominoes and shit or whatever lions do, the male lions do. It's just him and his son. He got one son, and Simba is the only other one. And Scar stays on the outskirts because it's just like he chill by himself because you my brother, but you can't chill with the pride because I get all the pussy because I'm the king. So you chill over there and you be gay and go fuck hyenas or whatever you do with your weird self. You know what I'm saying? But
that's what you think the beef
Simba,
was over?
you know what I'm saying? Simba and Nala, you know, they're brother and sister. They may not have the same mother, but they definitely have the same father.
Okay. I want to tell you right now, the views of LeVar are not necessarily the views of R Squared Network.
It's nature. It's science. You have no... So that's not a fact?
Nah, B. You don't know. Her pops could have been just dead.
Nah,
She could have came from
her
a different
pops could have
pride.
came and...
Time out.
Exactly.
Prides merge all the time,
incest.
Yeah, like Mufasa could have killed her pops. Or just ran him away.
bro. Yeah.
Word.
Or it could be Scar. You don't know that.
Yo.
Maybe that's why Scar wanted her there. He was just bringing back his daughter.
Yo, you never know,
They
bro.
should have a conversation about that shit.
Yo, it's a jungle out there, man.
Yo, it's nature, bro. It's just like if you have a cat in your house and that cat has kittens and then the male cat comes of age, it will F its moms. That's just nature. That's what animals do.
Whoa.
Bro, whoa,
I've never seen
whoa.
that happen in life.
It happens all the time.
You seen that happen?
Yes. With
Nah,
cats, yes.
not the
that happens
mother.
all the
Nah.
time.
I've never seen an MF as a cat.
It happens.
I've seen a...
Bro,
bro,
it happens,
what,
bro.
what,
Yo, where are you
how did-
taking us,
how
man?
How
I'm
did
just
my
saying.
life get to this point?
This is the shit that animals
You making
do.
him regret
God
coming on the
damn.
show,
This is
man.
what animals do, bro.
Oh, Jesus.
This is nature, bro.
You know what? I think we got to end the show on that, man. I don't know if I can really come back from that.
nigga's nasty.
Lion King looks dope. Oh wait, okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna change subjects. I'm not gonna end the show. I got one more thing I want to
Thank
talk
you.
about.
Yo, y'all know I'm right. As much as you don't
Yo, I
want to
gotta-
look
Wrong.
Yo.
I knew it all along.
I gotta
Yeah.
break the no smoking rule, man, because this guy stressed me out.
Yo, easy.
Sure.
Easy.
it's gonna mess up the cameras.
You're killing everybody. What are you doing?
Oh my god! All right, that was it.
Okay.
That's it. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay. See.
This guy has a problem.
You stressing me out, man.
Okay. Now
Nature, bro.
this is gonna be the last topic because you ruined everything. Now
I ruined
It's
that.
all, that's it. We're
It's
shutting
a
the
domino.
show down.
It starts somewhere.
Okay, now, Michael B. Jordan, he was just in Creed 2.
Excellent actor.
Not a bad movie.
Excellent actor.
How is that movie doing? Is it flopping?
No, it's doing very
No,
well.
he's doing his thing, man.
What's the numbers right now?
It did $50 million for the holiday weekend, and you know
It's
that's
been
not
out
a
a
movie
week?
that costs all that money. Yeah, I don't know what it's up to now, but for the I guess the 4-day weekend or 5-day weekend,
I don't know
50
how to
million.
determine what's a success because of what
It's
these
based
comic
on the
book
budget.
movies be making.
Yeah, but
It's
obviously you're
retarded.
not judging all those movies. By the way, you see that smoke that is just still sitting there? Now you
That's
understand.
not smoke. That's vape.
I don't care.
Stop talking about it.
That's
Stop,
why.
Stop going off the road.
That's why we don't allow these things. Now, some TMZ reporter tried to stop him, right, while he was walking. He said, "Oh man,"
Tried to stop
Mike.
him or stopped him.
stopped him. Said, "Oh man, you look like you're in great shape, man. That was a great movie, Creed 2. You know, now that you're in shape, who would you like to fight? What like real boxer?" He was like, "Oh man, I've been training with Rocky and Apollo. Not even their real. He probably doesn't even know Sylvester Stallone's name.
He called out Roy Jones, right?
Roy Jones. He's like, yeah, Roy
he's
Jones. I mean,
wildin'.
in
He's
his
wildin'.
prime, he probably killed me, but right now, I think I could take him.
He's wilding. No, he's wilding.
Did Will Smith make a song
Before,
back in the day, like I think I could beat Mike Tyson. Was that Will Smith or was it somebody else?
That was Will Smith.
I know when Martin tried to fight, that wasn't Mike
Tommy
Tyson. That was
Hitman Hearns.
yeah.
Yeah.
How
He got
his-
lumped up.
Yes, but the thing that I wanted to say was, first of all, why would they put him in that position to ask that question?
It doesn't matter.
Right?
He's
And-
a grown man.
And and I would buy the shit out of that on pay-per-view. Oh my
Word.
God.
Who you think got it?
Roy Jones, of course. Are you
Okay,
crazy?
first of all-
But if you see
No,
Roy
no.
Jones getting knocked the fuck out in a
No,
lot of fights,
no, but here's the thing.
go Yeah.
He's not a professional fighter.
Here's the thing.
He's not a fighter, man.
Michael B. Jordan has everything to lose,
Yes.
right? Because think about, like, you're an actor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you telling me they gonna call you up for to be in the ancestral planes in Black Panther 2? You can't. I can't. I'm lumped up.
Right. Yeah.
And why the F? Who the hell does a movie and just says, "Oh, this is what I'm gonna do now"? Tupac. But
Tom
that's-
Cruise.
Yeah. This is me now because I like this. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm a professional. This.
I mean, if you were as
the
skinny as
persona I
Michael B.
choose.
Jordan, and then they got you looking like how he looks now, you'd
Killmonger,
be like,
bro.
yo, I'm gonna stay on this path.
Right.
Nah, but I was telling you earlier, I think it's for the next Creed movie. They want to have a real boxer in it because if you know your historians, I believe it was Rocky 6 where Rocky had got back in the ring because Antonio Tarver was in it because there was some thing like some computer generated thing and people thought that Rocky could beat him, so they did some exhibition fight. And then they
Yes.
fought, but Roy Jones was supposed to be in that movie, but because he got knocked out by Antonio Tarver or whatever the hell like that, they
dubbed
put
him.
Antonio Tarver in the movie because it's like we have to have the champ in the movie. Even though Antonio
that's
Tarver lost the title a little bit after that, nobody really remembers Antonio Tarver as much as they do Roy Jones. You know what I'm saying? I think what he's trying to do is bring Roy Jones back.
I think that
Because
you are
they-
thinking too far outside of the box. I think it
They
is
really wanna fight?
probably just promotion for this movie because this movie just dropped, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the arc of the story, Creed is way too young. It worked for Rocky because at the time, Sylvester Stallone was a little bit younger, but still in that range. They wouldn't make the character Adonis Creed fight a 50-year-old or 50-plus-year-old when that's done.
Roy
Now,
Jones don't look 50.
it doesn't matter. Like, they wouldn't do that, right? I'm not saying they wouldn't make him fight someone real, but they wouldn't do that. And watch the movie and you'll understand what I'm saying. But I think this is amazing promotion, but it's the dumbest thing that Michael B. Jordan has ever said.
Well,
No
Roy
one
Jones
can get D's and everything.
Yo, Roy Jones might actually run up.
Shout out to Bill Cosby.
But here's the thing. You know this, right? You come from Queens.
Okay.
Never fight anybody that has nothing to lose.
That's yeah.
Like, Michael B. Jordan has everything to lose right now.
He gonna hold us out, bro.
yeah.
So, and they asked Roy Jones about this, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll fight him."
Of course.
They asked Roy Jones, "Oh, how long you think it'll take you to get ready?" 5-6 weeks. And he's like, "I'm not just gonna knock him out in the first round because he got to learn what boxing is.
He said,
I got to
him
get
into
about
deep water. Take him into deep
5-6
water.
rounds out of him."
You know what I'm saying? It's just like tire yourself out because you're not conditioned for this. He's just like, I'm old, but it's like I got that training, I got that experience. It's like when you get in that deep water, then you know what this is. You
It's
know?
one thing where you can throw a punch and then the director could yell cut and then you can go like this.
Right.
It's very different than being in a ring with a real
If
one
they
of the
did it, it
greatest
would be an
boxers.
exhibition fight, and they would super use headgear. There's no way he's out there like fighting Roy Jones. Like,
Yo, you know
crazy?
people still get knocked out with headgear though.
Yeah, but there's no way. There's no like. Why would he do that?
Nah, that's,
Roy
that's
Jones,
not
who's knocked
smart.
people out with body shots.
Why would he risk like permanent injury? You know what I'm saying? When he has an acting career, come on, son. Come on.
So, yeah.
I don't believe you.
Maybe he was just embellishing. Just
No,
I
I
don't
think I
believe
say I think
for
it's
the
great promotion for the movie.
Yeah, because he's not stupid. He can't be that stupid.
He's
Is
like,
there
"Yo, see
any
my fighting."
chance?
Because for him to say that Apollo trained
Yo,
him
he-
and Rocky trained him,
Yeah,
I think he was still in character.
yes.
Like,
How you gonna say Apollo and Rocky trained you? The fuck?
or he was just high.
He said, but he said I couldn't beat him in his prime. But right now, he's like, I can give him that work.
Yeah, but is there a world where Michael B. Jordan beats Roy Jones?
Hey, man.
I
I
mean,
think Roy Jones takes the dive for the money, like how he been doing.
Youth and energy.
I think Roy Jones
easy.
been taking dives for a while for money.
Youth and energy do count for something. After a while, it overcomes.
Now, what I'd like to see in a Creed 3 is maybe Mayweather versus Adonis Creed.
Will this be a script? The scripted?
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying in the movie, not like a real thing. I think it will work. I think they're closer in age, so
but Mayweather
work better
can't
than-
read, bro.
Yeah,
how he
so
gonna
I-
remember
I-
his lines?
Come
yeah,
on,
like, that's what I'm asking about the
man.
script. Like,
Honestly, though, the guy that played in the movie, Victor Drago, Ivan Drago's son, he wasn't really an actor, but they just didn't give him a lot of lines. He probably had like 13 lines in the whole movie.
You don't gotta say much.
Exactly,
You know,
but
like
he
Arnold
looked
Schwarzenegger,
very
I'll be back.
imposing.
right.
You know what I mean? And honestly, believe it or not, like Ivan Drago was kind of the heart of the movie. Which
So it's whack that he has to hold an L again.
you don't know that.
He's super lost.
Are you sure?
Yes, I know he lost
How you know that?
because there's no way that Drago wins. Because if Adonis lost in the first movie, how he gonna lose again in the second movie?
Okay. You know, I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm just saying you might not be right about that. That's all I'm saying. Go watch the
Lies.
movie.
Lies.
Okay, folks. Are we watching anything on Netflix that we want to tell anybody out before we get out of here?
Netflix.
Any shows? Any movies? What are we doing? What do we want to tell people to watch this week?
Am I watching anything on Netflix? Nope.
All right. Well, I have a recommendation, and that is Overlord.
But
If you've ever
before-
that's not on Netflix, by the
Yeah.
way. It's in the theaters, and it's getting ready to go out the theaters, so see it right away. If you ever wanted to see Wolfenstein, the movie, that's basically what Overlord is. Watch it. It is only 90 minutes, and they don't waste any of it.
Can we talk about one more thing? 5 minutes.
Okay.
What did you think about that Walking Dead mid-season finale?
Are we doing spoilers?
You can just talk about it.
You know what? I'm gonna say, even though Rick Means Business Grimes wasn't there, I didn't hate it. They did something new, right? Forget about the Whisperers or whatever, right? I'm just saying, and you'd think they would have done this before. They were in a cemetery in a show with zombies,
Right.
and there was mist everywhere, and the show just had a completely different look. It felt like it had a different vibe.
Because
This new idea, and they surprised me. Even though I knew what was coming, they surprised me because, like, oh crap, zombies is moving, sliding on you.
I did not think Jesus was gonna die. So, I did not see that coming. The way it's just like
You like how the zombie, the Whisperer crossed, crossed Jesus.
Nah, but Jesus, it's just like
Jesus
he hit him with
died. I didn't see the mid. Oh my.
Yes,
God.
Jesus died 2,000 years ago for your sins. You didn't know?
Oh, my
You haven't got the
God.
message? You must accept him as your
They
personal.
juking niggas.
Yeah.
Zombies is juking.
Well,
niggas
first of
now?
all, I'll tell you why he died. Because he was a lie. It's white Jesus.
But
Got a point there.
here it goes.
It's horrible.
Yeah, like this is the first time we got to see Jesus doing some ill shit. You know what I'm saying? Because all the time he be fucking up his own team members. You know what I'm saying?
He was out there
fucking up
doing
Morgan.
parkour off zombies.
Yo, he was jumping off of one zombie chest and going back and stabbing the next zombie, chopping off heads, doing all type of crazy like ninjutsu shit. Like
And
he
he
was
was feeling himself too much.
He was feeling himself. He's like,
Let me
yo,
go
I
take
got
out this last zombies.
But then one of them, he was just there like, oh, word, just ducked and blow and stabbed it because it's like zombies is carrying weapons.
Now-
Zombies is talking.
Here's the thing.
But like he was saying about the mist thing, it's just they're like, I don't know why like they didn't use the mist thing because Michael Jackson taught you that shit in Thriller. Zombies
no, but
and
the
mist
zombie that
is fucking scary, bro.
the zombie that zigzagged on him did one of these.
Yeah, son. Did the shimmy.
Shit, I gotta see that. Yo,
No, because Jesus tried to slash him with the sword. He was like, "Oops, nope."
So obviously Jesus wasn't aware of these abilities.
No, but now here's
No, because this is we as the viewers, or if you've read the comic book or be on the internet and read blogs, like the Whisperers was always a thing. Is these people who put on they sew up zombie skins and put it on themselves and walk around in hordes, and they whisper to each other and move like zombies. So because people not expecting it, because they don't always engage hordes. You know what I'm saying? They try to stay away from them. They only engage them if they have to.
Right.
So if they're whispering to each other to go just kill people, It's just like, and you're not expecting it, and this is their first time seeing it. That's how they got caught out there.
And also, this adds a new level because if I don't know who a zombie is, who's just gonna move slow and just let me kill it, versus somebody who could just switch up on you and break
And
out in
got
song and
weapons.
dance, like how do you know? And here's my next question: aside from Rick Means Business Grimes, how many of them are really nice? Right? Which means, yeah, you might could kill like 50 zombies real quick in a pinch, but when people are actually fighting back and putting them hands up on you,
Right.
how nice are you really?
So,
And
like,
how do you have to watch
they
every
move around
zombie.
in hordes of zombies, and then a motherfucker just come out with some nunchucks and pow. You wasn't even expecting it because you're there focusing on all the real zombies in front of you, and then a nigga just come up right behind you, stab you in your side. Like, how you fight against that? It's just like they gotta get Eugene on that bullet mecking, son. It's just like we ramping this shit up, bullet mecking, because it's just like, why haven't they been stockpiling bullets? Something crazy.
No, they have been. Nobody's complaining about being out of bullets. My next question to you is:
We shooting every zombie we
what
see.
do you
Shoot.
think is going on in the kingdom where Carol, long hair don't care, Carol, burning you up, Carol, what needed from Alexandria? Like what is the beef with Michonne? Why is everybody mad at Michonne?
Why is everybody mad at Michonne? I think, I mean, they don't tell us, but I'm assuming it's just like when Rick died and she have to take care of jacket don't fit her, and she got to take care of baby, Rick Jr. You know what I'm saying? Without no daddy, it's just like, yo, fuck all of y'all. Y'all dug a hole. Rick got caught out there, freaking
Trying to
fucking
connect
fell
y'all
back
and y'all messed that up.
Trying to build a bridge, like to save the damn world and bring back civilization. And then you still,
Not my baby.
even though you came there and you decided on your own not to kill him, you still snaked Rick because you could have just said, I want to see Negan, I want to see him, and I want to talk to him.
Okay,
And then you would have decided yourself not to do nothing stupid.
I got a better question.
You know what I'm saying? But you snaked Rick, and then Rick got caught out there, and Rick is dead, so that's why they beefing.
I got a better question. What do you think those X's on the back of Michonne and Daryl mean?
Who gave them those X's? Was it the Martha Stewart chick?
No, I doubt it. I doubt that very much.
Was it the freaking A-B people? The helicopter people? The people who
Could be.
take them and send them go to space?
Could be. Very well could be. Now, are you excited for the next season for the next half of the season coming?
In February?
Yes.
I'm going to watch it.
And it will be done just in time for this thing.
What thing?
Game of Thrones to start back.
Yeah, I think they should only have one more season after this. I think, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I like this, that it's something new, but it's just like the zombie thing gets old after a while. Okay, you brought the Whispers in, deal with that for a season, and then that's it. Show us the Rick Grimes movies, and that's it, bro. Go out while you still, okay. Don't fall off anymore.
I feel like they should. Here's the thing.
They're definitely not going to end it after this season, but do one more.
No, but this is the thing. I get it, like business-wise, right? Like, okay, this is the number one thing, and The Walking Dead makes billions of dollars, right? So you can't cancel it. But what I think that they've done that harms the show is that they should have ended this iteration of the show and just done spin-offs, right? Because no one can contest that Breaking Bad was like a perfect series. No one can contest that The Wire was a perfect series. No one can contest that The Sopranos wasn't great, right? Because they ended when people still wanted more, as opposed to now. Again, you can still say we're not done with The Walking Dead, but that story is done, and now here's 2 or 3 spin-off shows that will continue with some of your favorite characters, but it's not that show. So maybe you don't like the spin-off shows as much. You'll still watch them because you know that greatness is there of the other show. I think The Walking Dead maybe should have ended in season 6 or 7, and I'll give you the analogy. You have an album that is 15 tracks, and 10 of them are classics, but 5 of them are hot garbage. right? Is that a classic album?
No.
But if you have an album that is the same 10 tracks without the 5 garbage ones,
It's a classic.
Timeless,
right?
yeah.
So this is the thing. They should have let it be what it is. Tell that story, end that iteration of it, and that will live on in people's minds forever. Now, forever to come, people are like, Walking Dead was great once.
Right.
I mean,
They
I still
milking
watch it.
this
It's
shit.
cool. But what they could have did is let that live, be perfect, and then just have all your spinoffs. And people would have been happy with that because they would have wanted more.
So you think they finna give everybody their own show? Like it's gonna be a Negan show?
I'm just saying they could have done something like that, but just
because
saying,
like Morgan got
this,
his own show and Rick about to get movies,
this
so they're about to
Rick-
give everybody a show.
Maybe.
Is
but-
Maggie about to have her own show?
Nah.
I think certain
why
characters.
They
not?
said F Maggie.
It would be.
Why not? Because if that's what they're doing, if that's what they seem to be doing, if it's like Rick is getting movies, they killed off everybody on Fear the Walking Dead, and it's now Morgan's show. You feel me?
I get it. I'm just saying.
They're trying to milk this thing into the ground.
I'm talking about something. I'm just saying something they should have did was ended the show while everyone loved it,
Makes perfect sense.
and then done spin-offs, as opposed to taking the main show, running it into the ground,
Stretching it.
and now people are like, I don't give a shit about the main show. I'm not watching your spin-off.
Like that's why
I'm definitely watching those Rick Grimes movies though.
Yeah.
It's getting stale for me too. Honestly, I'm not running.
You watch it out of habit now.
It's like okay.
I've been watching these guys for 10 years. I can't like not watch now, but you're
Yeah.
not looking
I mean,
forward to, oh, it's Sunday.
Yeah, it's not the same, man. It's not the same.
After Carl died, it wasn't the same.
Some people would argue after Glenn died, but
And it's like
Nah, because I mean there was still great moments.
I
You
don't.
know what I'm saying? Like Glenn, that episode with Glenn dying was great. The episode with like the kid from Everybody Hates Chris, that shit was great. You know what I'm saying? It's just like was riveting television. I know. I'm just telling you. I'm not running it down in order. I'm just telling you great moments. Freaking when Rick was there, freaking swinging around, freaking Lucille on fire. You know what I'm saying?
oh no, that was one of the best Walking Dead
Or
episodes.
like before, you know, the Sheba or whatever the tiger's name was.
Sheba, that was her name.
When she freaking jumped out and freaking damn near freaking caught a nigga, he's like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? That was a great episode.
By the way, all the great moments in Walking Dead had to do with Rick. I'm just saying. Now he's not there.
When Rick bit out that dude's throat because he was trying to, you know, take Carl's innocence.
It was crazy how in Rick's final episode that Shane brought that up.
Yeah.
Biting out necks.
Yo,
I
son,
need
they
to be
was
that
trying
guy.
to do, you know, Carl Jr. Carl, they were trying to do him like, you know, they're trying to do Takashi out there, free 6ix9ine.
Okay, I think that's a good note to end on. All right, folks. Mr. Johnson, tell him where he can find you, good
The
sir.
dude abides with a Z, and a couple periods in between. On the Instagram, you can find me at LeVar Johnson on the Facebook.
Knock. Where can they find you, good sir?
Infinity Storm Knock Instagram _. I'm tired.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can find me on your favorite social media network, as long as it's not Snapchat, at Steve A.M. Johnson. You can also find me on the second page. That's sort of a politics show. And again, check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/r2network. Also, I am writing a novel and creating a comic book and a video game. And if you want to help me do that, you can also go to patreon.com/Everborn, because that's the name of the world I'm creating. The comic, the game, and the novel all in the same world. You can get all the updates there, or you can get them if you follow me on Instagram. But help a brother out. That's all I'm saying. We'll be back next week, and we will get back to a regular schedule, and we're planning some big changes for the show, so you should watch out for that too. And hugs, not drugs. We are out here, folks.
Yeah, man.